We're now speaking with Lisa Benson, Assistant Professor in Clemson's Department of Engineering and Science Education, as well as the Department of Bioengineering. Dr. Benson teaches first-year engineering, undergraduate research methods, and graduate engineering education courses. She's involved in a variety of projects that utilize tablet PCs to enhance student learning. She did her undergraduate work in bioengineering at the University of Vermont and her graduate work, master's and PhD, in bioengineering at Clemson. Welcome, Lisa. We're so glad you could make it.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Okay, so what do you teach, and what types of students are using tablet PCs in your classroom?
Well, I probably have the most fun job in the whole room. I teach first-year engineering students, and so no one day is like another. We teach in a large student-centered learning environment. Our classes tend to be very, very big, sometimes up to 70, 75 students. But in this environment that you saw, that typical that swimming pool, the sandbox classroom environment, between the instructors and multiple teaching assistants and our active and cooperative learning approaches, students are really engaged in their own learning as effectively as if they were in smaller classes. So topics in our class, our first-year classes, typically include introduction to different engineering disciplines, basic engineering skills like unit conversions, data collection and analysis, and problem solving. Okay.
So what are some of the goals you have for the students these first years, and how are you using technology to achieve them?
Well, in our classes, especially with first-year students tend to get overwhelmed with information in the classroom, and we try to minimize that by having students really engaged in their own learning process. We want them to work with each other and really negotiate the meaning of different things that we're teaching right there in the classroom and come away with a deeper understanding of the material than if they had, say, crammed all the material on their own in the dorm room at 3 o'clock in the morning. So in our program, in the general engineering program, we encourage students to work through in-class problems in pairs or small teams of 3 or 4 students. And the goal, as I mentioned in the video, is for them really to become self-sufficient learners. They need to be able to work through problems and be critical thinkers.
What kind of evidence have you collected that the tablet PCs have been effective in achieving your learning goals?
Well, we actually did a study after we noticed that we have our students working in pairs and in groups quite a bit, and we noticed that when students were using the tablets, they really were focused on each other, and really the tablet was sort of a focal point for them, and we wanted to see if the tablets were more effective at, or were helping the students be more effective at working together in pairs. So we did a little pilot study in which we observed students working together. We compared some of our sections in which students were working with paper and pencil, and some in which they were working on the tablets, and they were just working through the different problems that we gave them, creating sketches and writing down equations and that kind of thing, with one student serving as the inker, or the person with the pen, and the other student serving as the thinker, or the one who is guiding, the person who is writing, prompting them as to what the next step might be. So in this little pilot study, we actually noticed that there were significantly more students focused on each other rather than working alone. 36% of the students were working on paper were focused on each other or working in pairs, and 50% of them were working in pairs when they were focused on the tablet, when they were using a tablet. And we thought this was very exciting. We actually felt like the tablets were helping us do what we do better.
I think that's fascinating, because as I think of a work environment, it sounds like the teaching environment that you have there is more closely aligned to a professional work environment where people are going to be relying on each other to solve problems and to create. So what a great simulation of what they'll encounter later in life.
Absolutely.